Hello guys, this is the Retro Gamer 06 for another book review. I'm excited to be doing this. I just finished it. Uh, I think, I've been thinking, it seemed like a while back I said I wasn't going to do any more book reviews, but, it's related to a video game series, and my channel, for the most part, is about video games anyway, so that's why I'm going ahead and do this. And another reason is because I love this book. Yes, today I'm going to be going to do a little review over Dying Light Nightmare Row. I love this book. Very nice. It's paperback. Written by Raymond Benson. Here's the spine. I don't know if there's a hardcover edition. I've seen pictures and it looks like it's a hardcover edition, but I could. So I went on eBay to try and find it and I couldn't. So I don't know if it's like a special edition that's like a limited time only. I don't know. Uh, of course, I bought this for $20 off from eBay. I mean, not eBay, I'm sorry, Amazon. I did go to eBay because I thought maybe I'd try to find a little bit cheaper. And they were selling for a lot more, like 30 something dollars, 40. And I'm like, I'm not spending that much money. So I went to Amazon and I was able to get a copy for $20. It's brand new, I could tell. The pages is like clean, just clean white pages. Here's the back. And you can see it's not a very thick book. It will not take it long to get through it. It didn't take me long. I mean, it probably took me a week and a half. Now, some of you guys might go through a lot faster for a book this size, but with my busy work schedule, so uh, but I'm going to read the back. The top part, it says, "Did you enjoy the story? Play Dying Light, the following enhanced edition, and discover the fate of Haran's citizens." And then at the website www.dyinglightgames.com. It says, "Discover the terrifying story of Mel Wyatt, an 18-year-old old American athlete trapped in a city ravaged by a mysterious epidemic that has turned the population into a bloodthirsty monsters. Witness the first days of the outbreak in this prequel to a worldwide blockbuster video game Dying Light, enjoyed by 7 million players so far." Of course, it's probably a lot more than that. And I believe this came out 2016. I think the game came out 2014 or 2015. So this came out either a year or 2 years later after the game. So yeah, it's a prequel. Like I just said, this explores the early days of the outbreak, at least the first 2 weeks, I think. Or it might expand for 3 weeks or something like that. But yeah, this is very, very early on during the outbreak. Uh, it says, written by Raymond Benson, the author of over 30 published titles, including original James Bond novels commissioned by the Ian Fleming estate. Dying Light Number Row is a tense and ticky time bomb thriller of survival. And it's not wrong. It's a non-stop, uh, well, not really action, but horror to it. Uh, you have the Techland logo, the developer of the game, and first page. You can tell it's brand new, nice and clean pages, not worn out. Uh, well, no, it says copyright 2015. Never mind. Amazon, it was saying 2016, so I guess Amazon got it wrong, but it's saying 2015, and I believe that's the same year the game came out. So, and you can see, I mean, maybe not, but you can see where it says 2015. Yeah, look at it. So, then you have your acknowledgments. The author wishes to thank Peter Miller and the folks at Global Light Intellectual Property Management Inc. and everyone at Techland for all the splendid help and guidance. And the book just starts. You have your prologue. It says D-Day, the final Saturday of the Huron Global Athletic Games disaster. Yeah, there's like some kind of like Olympics going on in the game, but they call it games or Huron Games. Uh, and it's and the chapters are very short. Okay, they're not lengthy. I say they're slightly shorter than the latest Witcher book, which I've already covered. Um, and it's 226 pages. That's not a very big book for that many pages, and I want to say, if I can find it, 26. Okay, yeah, there's 26 chapters. I was thinking 27, but no, there's 26 chapters. So my thoughts on this book, I loved it. Now I know it's easy to say, if you love the game, you're gonna love the books. That's very true. And I know I probably mentioned this in my past videos. My favorite zombie franchise is Dying Light. No doubt about it. I know I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, but I don't count Resident Evil as a zombie game per se, because I mean, yeah, you fight zombies. They were like the main enemies for a while, but then later on, they stopped showing. Because what was it, Resident Evil 4? You don't fight zombies anymore because there's other monsters that you fight like hunters, lickers, tyrants. There's a nemesis, and because of that, that's why I don't consider a zombie game. Some of you guys might, and that's fine, but I don't. But an actual zombie game would be Dying Light, Dead Island, Dead Rising, Left 4 Dead. Those are pure zombie games. To me they are. But my favorite is Dying Light. I love the franchise. Uh, it really kicks off. Like, it starts out, so I was disappointed for a minute when I start reading this because the outbreak already happened. Well, the prologue is like the very, very beginning. People are start showing symptoms. People are getting violent. They're like biting other people. And this doctor, I want to say his name was Dr. Abbas. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And he's trying to figure out what's going on. Like, he's thinking maybe it's rabies. He doesn't know what's going on. The prologue was really, really good. Like, it really builds up to what's going to happen later, big time. So, it's it's a fast-paced book, and I know I say that when I did my Witcher, my latest Witcher book, Crossroads of Ravens, a few weeks ago, or was it last month? I think I did that book review. But this really keeps you on the edge of your seat. Like, seriously, I could not put this book down. Every page, there's always something happening. It's very tense. From the beginning to the very end, it's very tense. The last chapter, I'm not going to spoil it, was sad but interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to read it if you want to know how the book ends. I was not expecting the ending at all. Great book, great story, great characters. Again, the main protagonist is an 18-year-old Mel Wyatt. She's like an expert in parkour. I mean, why not? Parkour is a big thing in the game. So she comes from America. I think Austin, Texas, and it's her mom and dad and her little brother named Paul, who has autism. So they go to these games to participate, But the thing is, they are there at the wrong time or wrong place because around that time, that's when the outbreak happens. And you kind of start hearing about the GRE. I forgot what it stands for, like global uh, disaster or something like that. They're in the game as well, but they do get mentioned in the book. Uh, so basically, she's trying to survive. Uh, and when you start the first chapter, she's already hiding from zombie. Now, of course, at the time, she didn't know what these people are. You think they're just crazy people with rabies. And she's trying to survive. And the way the author describes the books, like the environment, it really makes you feel like you're there and Haran. If you play the game, uh, I think you'll get more enjoyment out of this book. If you never played the game, I think you'll still like the book if you're into, zombies and stuff, Uh, yeah, but I think you'll get more enjoyment if you play the game, at least the first one. But it really makes you feel like you're there. Uh, the way he describes what the character is going through, like it's hot, she's trying to find water. It made my mouth dry because I remember I always try to keep a bottle of water on my nightstand when I read, and I got thirsty. So yeah, like it actually makes you feel like it's you're there on a hot day. When it's nighttime, it's really tense. Zombies are faster, they're more aggressive. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, so yeah, so there's a day and night cycle. Each chapter, it will tell you what time. Like, I mean, for example, uh, okay, so chapter one starts out at, it says 2 weeks after the Haran Global Athletic Games disaster, 6:30 a.m. And then you read a couple pages until you reach chapter 2. It's now 7 a.m. And it just goes on. And of course, you get this little abstract, I think is what they're called, a little dot there. So, that kind of serves as a stopping point, in case you get tired or something comes up and you got to put the book down. But, yeah, the characters, the environment, and the stuff that happened in this book is insane. Uh, if you're into gore, don't worry. There's plenty of gore in this book. It's not like too much where it's like overwhelming, but it's not too light. I think the amount of gore and the stuff that she goes through is perfect. I would not change it. Uh, I love it. I mean, like I said, the environment, the way he describes it, it's called Nightmare Row because that's what the survivors call it. It's I can't remember the name of the street now. I think I don't know if it got mentioned. I think it did, but it's located like in front of like town square. There's like a school nearby. Uh, that's where one of the nests is at, by the way. But I'm not gonna say more of that. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, there is a part in the book later on. It's like kind of almost toward the end of the book. She goes into the nest at the school. It's like located in the gym, but I don't want to say any more. I don't want to spoil it. I'm trying to keep this spoiler free in case you guys want to read this. But great environment. I mean, I know I keep repeating myself. It's just like the way she does parkour. She's jumping on cars. She's going through alleyways to try to do a shortcut. And it feels like I'm watching Dynamite the movie, or I'm watching someone playing a new Dynamite game. That's the best way I could describe it. It's so good, and I think the rating on Amazon, it's like 4.4 out of 5. That's pretty good. So it's good. Um, so if you want to get your copy, I'll put a link down in the description box. Again, it's $20. Can't go wrong with that. I mean, maybe you can find it cheaper on eBay. I don't know. I mean, I did it when I looked, but maybe it's cheaper now. But I highly recommend you pick up this book. Uh, there are there's not really many dislikes, maybe two, but one I can understand. Uh, there was a few typos. It was not often, not to the point where, okay, I can't read this. I don't know what's going on. No, 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 no. It's very few and far, but you will notice it when you see it. But not a big complaint. Another complaint, again, not a big complaint, is when it gets dark. Okay, because y'all play the games. You know what happens in nighttime? Volatiles. They are not in this book. I'm going to say that right now. There's no volatiles. They are not mentioned. It's just the only difference that when it's nighttime, zombies are more aggressive or faster. And I think they were in the games. I haven't put the first game in a while, but just reading this, I now want to put the game again. So I'm gonna probably play on my Steam Deck later on today, because this book wants to make me want to play the games again. But the complaint I was talking about not having volatiles, I can see why they're not in there, because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember in my lore, volatile is a much later stage of the disease. And like I said, this book is a prequel. Okay, so Kyle Crane has no idea what's going on. Okay, he hasn't even landed yet. Okay, like I said, this is like the first 2 weeks of the outbreak, so it's still very early. Okay, the outbreak has just happened. And volatiles didn't come out till much later, so it would make sense why they weren't in the book, which I'm totally okay with that. It's totally fine. So yeah, go out and get this book. I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay, especially if you're a fan of the series like me, you're going to enjoy this. I'm glad I picked this up. If you ask me, it should have been a little cheaper than $20, because it's not a very big book, but I'm a fan. I don't care. I bought it, and I do not regret this. So again, I will put a link in the description box so that y'all can get your copy. And if you do, or maybe you read it, if you've read it, let me know. What are your thoughts on this book? But anyway, guys, that is my review. That's what I think about the book. I love it. I will probably read again at some point in the future, but I love this book. So yeah, and one thing I want to point out about the typo I was saying, Raymond Benson. I thought I recognized his writing, because he also did Splinter Cell, the novel Splinter Cell, which is based on the stealth game, Tom Clancy, and he did a sequel, Splinter Cell, Operation Barracuda. Great books, by the way. If you love Splinter Cell, you gotta check those books out. But anyway, I remember those books had typos, so I'm not surprised that there were typos in this book. But he's a great author. I like the way he writes. He writes like it's a movie, and I love that, because when you read a book and it feels like you're watching a movie, it's hard to put the book down. And this book is one of them. So pick it up today, whenever you can. Or you know what? Maybe you know someone who's a fan. This would be a great gift. Christmas is coming up in a few weeks. So this will make a great gift to any Dynamite fan. So anyway, that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. Hit that bell button so you won't miss a video. And be sure to leave a like. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.